Hello, Tankers and Gamers. Momentary Genius here, back with the first match in the Season Pass Object 292 tank. This you get for 2,000 gold, and it's a good tank. Um, I've played a few matches in, but you can notice here my setup for this thing is very simple. I didn't put any equipment on it because this was coming off of the M1 Abrams on track. So I had just bought I think I was still saving up to get the M68-2 and the M61, and that was that those tanks drained the coffer. So yeah, I just put on some consumables. Couldn't afford even camouflage at this time, and that was that. So I got a real good feel for this tank, and actually, this is a really good tank. Um, it's a very versatile tank. I think this is definitely going to be one of those tanks that, for new players, if this comes up on sale, it's when I ask, hey, should I get this thing as good? And it's like, yes. While it lacks the armor of the other MBTs, and please ignore this wonderful bot driving. I do believe I was distracted by a conversation or minor uh, child-related disaster at this time. Uh, it feels like a medium, a large medium, yes, but it has the speed and capability of like some of the mediums, and that makes it a very versatile tank. You can have it set up for assault if you want to really focus on armor and repair, or yeah, that shot was made from 750 meters away on a Leopard 2A5, and it went through its armor like butter from the front. That is insane. I yeah, it's what they say is true. Like this is it. If you want to set up for ambush, you can back to that, or if you want to do sniping and play like a TD, you can. Because this whole match is basically I was like, I don't care what happens to me. I just want to see what the boom snout is capable of. And I sit back and I basically do nothing, which is maybe a detriment to my team. But this was all I cared about at the time. And it's like, what all the reviews say about this thing is true, so I'm not going to add really much to that. You can, you lack gun depression because it's, you know, Eastern Alliance tank, it's Russian. So that's the one drawback in my book. But you have speed, you have maneuverability, you have a boom snout that, in all honesty, it's not. It does have some aim in time, and it may not be the most accurate, but it's not really derpy. So it's kind of like, okay, lock on target, count to one, and then shoot. Again, depending on how you have it all set up, you can have this set up for run and gun. You can have this set up for ambush. You can have it set up for assault, and that's really great. And I this is a fun tank with no equipment, no boosts of any sort, really, except for the consumables. Commander is you can take this in a lot of directions. Although concealability is not going to be in your favor because they do have it set up like a standard MBT. But the thing that frustrates me about the Object 292, along with the Object 447, or excuse me, the Object 477, the Molot, is the fact that they have 150 millimeter boom snouts, just like I guess the lesser cousin, the Object 120, sitting in Era 2 at 398 pen, and yeah, it has high alpha at 800, damage, but it's it's a very derpy, it's a very derpy boom snout. It has a much longer aim and time. Great shell velocity. No armor. It's big. And this is why you'll see in chat from me, and I've had this in other videos, like the whole buff, the Object 120, and just it's the penetration. That 398 penetration is weaker than the Leopards, uh, a lot of, the newer, sort of newer Era 2 medium tanks and heavy tanks. And it also kind of the rub salt in the wound is the FV4 211. I mean, the best way to take out the FV4 211 is either in numbers or with kind of a lucky semi-skilled ATGM. And I think when you play tanks like the Object 292 and the Malot with these 150 millimeter cannons, and you get that sense of power with the penetration on some of these insanely armored MBTs, and then you go play the Object 120, which hardly anyone does unless you have the patience, skill, and you're comfortable with the fact that you're just the definition of a glass cannon. I mean, look at the end game. How many times you see an Object 120 being played? It's not going to be often. So, this is what frustrates me about the Object 292 is that it has the power that doesn't translate down, and if you have the Object 120, it doesn't give you the power, the sense that the other 150 millimeter boom snouts are going to have the same, are just going to be as weak, but they're not. And when it comes to the FH4 211, I think the Object 120 would be a great tech tree counter instead of having to try to aim with the 120 and its mediocre accuracy onto all those small bits at the front, which again, remember that Leopard 2A5, 750 meters away, and I put a round through it like butter. You can't do that with the FE4 211 or some of the T-72 AVs, and who knows what other Era 2 heavy / MBTs tanks are coming. So the Object 120 could be a great counter to them while being very well balanced, because it's weak in all other regards. So tell me what you think in the comments below. I hope you keep your tracks on the ground and the RNGs in your favor, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.